don't get what I want, I get what I need. Every single day I'm heading off to my dream, and I get everything that I damn well please. I don't give a damn if you all listening to me, cause I run it. I'm the only one that really want it, I'm the only one that's really on it. I'm just being honest, I'm just doing everything I promise, cause I want it bad enough that I'm a...
Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of What If Deku had a perfect copy quirk. Yes, I'm back with the What If that's been mostly requested for some reason. I thought this would be the least popular What If I ever made, I'm not gonna lie. But I know I was meant to be back a long time ago, and here's the excuse. I already gave you the actual excuse, but here it is. Every time I went to click upload on a video, it would make me log in. And someone forgot my password. Totally couldn't be me. And so I just kept trying to figure out how to get my password back. Turns out my nan's great-granddad's dog walker knew my password, which means my mum. And I finally got the password back, and here we are. And I'm going to try to make sure I don't forget it this time. I wrote it down and everything. So any other time I don't upload, I'm not even going to have an actual excuse. Unless it's something serious, like I got to run over again. But other than that, here I am. Anyway, last time we left off was a big one. It's quite a popular What If, and it's quite a good idea actually. And people have been complaining I haven't made my guys too overpowered so far, so I'm just gonna totally overpower this. Okay, first off, I know at the last episode I said they went straight to UA. They didn't. They have a few months of training first. And Deku found a quirk that could help him evolve his own quirks, and with his multiple time manipulation quirks, he managed to create a dimension outside of time, where they go in there, time outside freezes, but they can still train and develop in there, and they only age what Deku wants them to. So they basically have an infinite training span. So Deku and Bakugo go into there, and time doesn't pass while they're in there. They start training. Deku uses a body amplification quirk on Bakugo, making him able to use up to 30%. And then Deku using a body hardening quirk, not permanent, like a muscle density quirk, like the infinite percent one, but not as good. And it pushes Bakugo to be able to use 75% full cow, and the rest he has to get by training. Deku could give him 100%, but he doesn't feel like it. I feel like that defeats the point. The next thing Bakugo does is train his strength and explosions. These hurt his arms a lot more when he first did it. But with the quirks that Deku gave him, even these strengthened quirks, the hardest ones he can throw, aren't hurting his arms. And Deku makes sure of this by actually changing Bakugo's bone with a similar bone-like material, but making it harder than the hardest metal on Earth, meaning Bakugo's bones can take his strongest explosions. And with that, Bakugo is quite strong. He can move at insanely fast speeds with his explosions, and when he activates full cow, he can move even faster while running. And if he uses his explosions to propel him, it's really good. But due to One for All, his quirk evolved, and just like Naruto, her quirk was float, but with One for All, I think it amplified her quirk to make her be able to fly. And with Bakugo, he can let explosions out from anywhere on his body. And if he forces enough power, the explosions become blue, meaning they're extremely hot. And yeah, that does mean he can cause a mouth explosion. We'll get into that later. And while Bakugo and Deku are in here, Deku's working on his own quirks, combining them slowly. There was Endeavor's quirk that he copied, but also a quirk of black flames that were hotter than Endeavor's, but they couldn't be expelled, they could only be lit on the body. Deku combines them and creates the black flame quirk, hotter than anything. Hotter than Dobby's blue flames. And then Deku realizes this is causing him to overheat. So he gets one of the world's strongest ice quirks. I'm gonna use so much plot right now. It's from a room when he was hidden. This quirk literally means she can cause another ice age, but due to this, she's been hidden and restrained. Deku copies this quirk without anyone knowing, as he managed to amp up its ability to where you don't need to see it in person. You can see it over TV, and there was a video of her actually freezing an entire lost continent, stopping an earthquake. But due to this, the earthquake would have destroyed the world, but due to this, it made the continent lost, but it got hidden from the internet. Deku managed to copy this quirk, and he's in powerful. And now he has a stronger quirk than Todoroki does, as he has an ice quirk that can literally destroy the planet in a second, but also a fire quirk that can burn the... and now he doesn't get frostbite like Todoroki does, or he doesn't overheat like Todoroki or Endeavor, due to both quirks being powerful enough to cancel each other out. Bakugo sees this and is thinking, I need to catch up to Deku, he's getting too strong. At this rate I'll be stuck at number 2 hero, I need to be number 1. But there's a faint thought in Bakugo's mind that he will never be able to do it. Deku does this more and more and more until they finally leave the time gap where All Might is waiting for them. They made time pass a day there, so people thought they'd actually train a bit. When they come out, All Might's shocked. Both Deku and Bakugo are quite a lot more jacked, and he can sense raw power come from them. Deku managed to create a new quirk. It was a quirk called perfect, like, concentration, like control of your willpower, and then this weird manipulation of life energy, and he managed to make it into something similar to Sage Mode and Ki. And he also created a quirk that lets him share quirks with others. So he does. And he also gave Bakugo this quirk, meaning they both have Ki and Sage energy, just like Naruto and Goku. And All Might can sense the Ki from them, but doesn't know what happened. Deku explains his quirk, and All Might finds it insanely overpowered. And in truth, they only aged a day, just like Deku wanted it to be. So they basically got months of training. I'm saying they actually got about 10 years of training, actually, but they only aged a day. Now they're insanely strong, probably able to take on any villain. But Bakugo still has a doubt in his mind that Deku's still going to be stronger than him, which he obviously is. So All Might puts him to the test. First, Bakugo. Bakugo goes up to, with the training he did, he goes up to 90%. And All Might's shocked at the power, and due to each successor getting stronger, this puts Bakugo at All Might, or just below All Might Prime. But then when he uses his explosions, he starts passing him, with his speed being increased. And All Might doesn't know Bakugo can release explosions from any point in his body. So, All Might manages to get the jump on Bakugo, kicking him from behind, and appearing in front of him, getting ready to Detroit smash Bakugo into the ground, not needing to hold back because Deku said he can heal any injury. Until he sees Bakugo smirks, a small blue spark appears on his chest, and Bakugo lets out a huge explosion from his chest, sending All Might flying back covered in burns. Deku heals All Might, and as that was a bit of a dirty move, but it was fair at the same time, so they continue. And All Might pulling up all of one for all that he has. And by the way, in case you're asking, they're in another dimension Deku created where time doesn't pass. He smashes Bakugo as hard as he can, shattering a lot of... Well, it should shatter a lot of Bakugo's bone, but it only causes little cracks because of Bakugo's bones being harder than the hardest metal on Earth. And henceforth, Bakugo, not knowing it, can use a bit more than 100%, but he doesn't even know it yet. He's too scared because of the doubt in his mind from Deku's forcing him into others. But yes, he does lose against All Might. Then Deku pops up to the plane. He jumps to 100% of one for all straight away and starts beating All Might around, shocking Bakugo, thinking, if I train I can become that strong with just one for all. And Deku gets at his board and says, okay, I'm gonna boost your strength for a bit, All Might, it's not permanent. And Deku boosts All Might by about 1,000 times, and All Might starts bouncing around, clapping Deku, until Deku boosts his own strength, catching All Might's fist and flicking him away. Bakugo is just speechless. Before All Might can even jump back, Deku uses Bakugo's quirk, mixed with a weird tendril quirk, to make explosion whips. Every time he whips All Might, and a huge explosion comes from it. Bakugo's shocked, what a way to mix his quirk, until the whips disappear, and Deku puts his hands up. Black explosions start appearing, he launches out All Might, burning up his skin. And then before All Might can jump back, Deku stamps his foot on the floor, freezing everything, including half All Might's body. Bakugo knew what was coming, so he jumped up into the air with his explosions. Then Deku summons a weapon and goes up to All Might and says, do you admit defeat or I'll behead you right now? I can just resurrect you with one of my quirks, and All Might says, I admit defeat. Bakugo's shocked. Deku just beat All Might. They leave the time entrance, and for the next month they just rest. Deku concentrates more on combining and strengthening quirks. And one he's really starting to like a lot is the time quirks. they're so useful. And he's even got to the point where he can stop time for what seems to be an unlimited amount of time, seeming funny enough. And he also manipulate time on his body to make him faster. And if he manages to corrupt time enough, he can create the portals to dimensions. So they go to the UA exam. And everyone there's a bit scared of Deku and Bakugo because of their aura. They haven't fully concealed it yet. And as soon as it begins, Deku and Bakugo rush in, both at 50% of full cow, destroying robots any chance they can. And they both look at each other and they take their chance. They bounce at each other. Bakugo actually gets the first kick on Deku, sending him flying back. But Deku makes an air bullet shooting at Bakugo, sending him flying more back than Deku did. So Deku gets a chance at more robots. Bakugo decides no more holding back and uses his explosions, ignore that voice crack, and starts flying around, blowing up as many robots as he can. Deku says, I can play that game too, and uses blue explosions like Bakugo's max, and starts going faster. Bakugo's had enough of this, and uses his explosions to the fullest, everyone around him scared. He's launching as big explosions as he can, flying, until the 0-point robot appears. Both Deku and Bakugo race towards it. And Deku thinks, sorry, you're not having this one this time. And he stops time. Using his key, he can fly, and he flies up to Bakugo and taps his forehead. That Bakugo slowly moves a bit, and then he goes up to the 0-point robot and just grabs his hand together and just hits it a bit hard like that. So you know when you flick something like that, but in a fist way, and then he unfreezes his hand. The robot combusts down in itself into what seems to be a black hole due to the corruption of time, and Bakugo gets sent back flying. And he realises that's cheating, Deku. Oh. Everyone's shocked. What just happened? In a split second, that spiky haired blonde kid got blown away, and the robot combusted on itself, and the green haired kid's flying. But due to Bakugo and Deku being too strong, before anyone got the chance, they would have destroyed all the robots, and no one else had points. Everyone's shocked. But Deku's like, no problem, one of my quirks is I can see someone's full potential. And they're like, what? But All Might just nods to Nezu and he agrees to it. So everyone in Class 1A is the same, except for Mineta gets switched with Shinso. And I know you're all going to be happy about that. So all the classes are the same, except for Mineta get expelled. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. You did, make sure you share with your friends, family, like and subscribe. Get me to 10k for the giveaway. So I've been watching a lot of Active Bridge, and they're kind of catching on to me. And yeah, I'm back now, and hope you enjoy it. Subscribe. Peace out. Bye.